A road split with St. Thomas last weekend, a 3-0 shutout on Friday, a 4-2 loss on Saturday. I'd like to start with Benny, goalkeeper of the goaltender of the week in the CCHA, 9.52 save percentage, stopped all 13 shots while shorthanded. Talk about the performance you got from Benny between the pipes this week.
Kind of an interesting thing happened on Friday morning. Pre-game skate, Benny's a competitive kid. So he couldn't save a beach ball in the morning. So I'm watching him, and usually I watch on the drill. There's a couple drills he likes, and I let him make a few saves, and then I move to the next drill. I try to get a couple in a row. And it's like, it's going, and I can't stop it. So I'm kind of skate up to him. I'm like, you want to go to the next set? He goes, yeah. And I can tell he's upset. So he kind of continues, and, I skate up to him a little bit later in practice, and I go, there's a reason they don't play games at 11, right? And it kind of like, I think it just, he's mentally tough. Like a lot of guys, that pregame skate would throw him off. He played great. He wasn't as clean as he probably would have liked to be either of the games, but he's so competitive that, he's making that next save. And he probably, to be honest, may have played better on Saturday than he did on Friday because we had all those penalty kills.
Well, let's talk about all those penalty kills. 10 for 10, an awesome weekend for the penalty kill, but kind of a mixed bag for the special teams overall, as 0 for 6 on man advantages for the Cats themselves. Special teams always very important to a hockey game. So with the postseason kind of on the horizon, where's your confidence at in the special teams right now?
I think that obviously the penalty kills. It's been probably the last 3 weeks. It's really kind of, we've changed a little bit how we practice it, and I think that's helped. The power play, it kind of coincides with, some of our guys just are kind of going dry right now. And it's been that long break we had at Christmas, and that is such a long time ago, but it like segmented us into 2 years. We were off for almost 3 weeks, just the way the schedule worked out. And then we played, and then we were off again. So you're a 5-week span. You played 2 games, and I think we're gonna adjust some things in the power play this week. Nick's actually gonna work with them. Be the first time here that I haven't run it, and I think a different voice right now is going to be good. He's really energetic. Really positive. I think that, we just got to get, it's not like we're not getting looks, just not going in. It's kind of like Saturday night, you have a 2-on-0 on the shorthanded with Christoph Pop and AJ Vanderbeck. There's not many few other guys that you would say, I'd choose this guy to go over those two. And it's kind of just where it was for us, and it's where it's been. And we're not going to go the rest of the year not scoring. We're just not. So we got to keep doing all the other things that will allow us to have success when we do kind of get our sticks back.
Well, Coach, you just mentioned AJ Vanderbeck, and he's a guy I actually have been meaning to ask you about. We've only seen him in one game of each of the last 2 series. So was he banged up, dealing with something? Was it something else? What was going on with the captain?
Sometimes when a player is struggling a little bit, there's some benefit for that player just to take a breath and watch. We're not going to do anything we want to do without him. We're not going to down the playoffs, and at the end of the year, it's not like we don't need AJ. And sometimes this kind of refocuses a guy, and I thought on Saturday he was shot out of a cannon. It was the best he's played maybe all year. And he didn't get rewarded on the score sheet, but if that's the version of the player we get, it would be worth it all. And in those 2 games, we won those 2 games. So, there's some other pieces to it too. But if we get that version of AJ, he's going to have a great finish to the year.
Well, talking about a great finish to the year, when we talked previously, you had mentioned you no longer really care where the Cats play in the first round. It's all about focusing on the team and just making sure that they, as a unit, are in the best possible shape when the playoffs roll around, regardless of where they're playing. So, with that said, what do you think this team most needs to focus on, or where do you want the guys to really direct their attention as we're getting ready for the postseason here in a couple of weeks?
I think we gotta, find a way to score a little bit more. And for the most part, we've gotten better. Well, our play has gotten better every weekend. The last 3 weekends, it's gotten better. Our discipline was fantastic until Saturday night. And, the penalties we took were penalties. There's no denying that. But even though it didn't cost us any goals, you're running the same guys over the boards, the guys that you need to score for you, and you're asking them to sprint up and build a wall and sprint back and block a shot and get up the rink and disrupt. And so they're running through their energy, and they're not doing it in a manner where they're able to score. So when you need goals at the end, a lot of times those guys have kind of been wore out in the game. And you can get away with it if you score early, and then you have a great penalty, you can get away with it. But it's the combination of that, is not some pucks not falling early, and then kind of wearing your guys out in the penalty kill. And I thought, that was kind of the case in that game on Saturday.
You talked a little bit about when things kind of weren't going your way. You had said, some of your better guys are having rough stretches at the same time. Like, this might be a time to switch things up, put people in different positions. Has anyone stepped out to you as taking full advantage of this new opportunity, or maybe vice versa?
I thought Vinny had a huge night on Friday. He kind of, the last 3 games is kind of, and Vinny was a player that also watched a couple games, and his first game back, I thought it was very similar to AJ's. I thought he played very well, didn't get rewarded, and then, the second game back, he scores 2 goals. We're at the time of the year where you got to enjoy what you're doing. There's times that coaches have to be hard, and there's times they have to push, and there's times you have to pull your team, and sometimes you're doing this with them, but you got to get them where you want them. Now's the time that all that is going to pay off. We didn't even practice yesterday. We played charades, and it was hilarious. It was awesome, and it was like, at the end of it, it's like, guys are doing an elephant. They're trying to meme a zoo, and it's just hilarious. But I told them at the end, I said, guys, this is supposed to be fun. Don't forget that. And that's what it is. There's days, dark days in every season, long, January, December days. But now it's kind of getting to the point where all that work, getting close to the end and the payoff. So, that's kind of the focus. The rest of the year is making sure that we're healthy, we're rested, and we're energized.
So this weekend coming up is the last home series of the year, which means the Cats will be honoring their seniors. Can you speak a little bit about this senior class and what they've meant to you in this program?
Yeah, they've been through a interesting time of college hockey. When they came in as freshmen, when they started college as freshmen, there was no such thing as a transfer portal. There's no such thing as COVID, and they lived through this kind of transformation of what we know of the game. And some of these guys, it's their 5th year, and some of it's their 4th year, and some of them can come back, and some of them are used all 5 years. But the one thing that this group has been is resilient. They've been part of a team that, we really had a tough go with it at COVID. It was really tough, and kind of got together, got healthy, got right, and playing the championship game. They've been through a winning streak last year of whatever we won in a row, 11 or 12 in a row. They've had a little bit of downtime this year with some bumps in the road, but they're just a resilient group, And, you know, I can't wait to see what they can do in the end here.
So, of course, the opponents for this final home series, Ferris State Bulldogs, split a couple of games with them down in Big Rapids back in December. So, your thoughts on the matchups for this weekend?
It's huge games for both teams. You know, for Ferris, obviously they're fighting for home ice, and for us, we're trying to get our team right. They're a heavy team. They're strong. They're getting great goaltending. You know, and they're scoring more than they have in the past. So, and they feel good about their game. You know, they've kind of had some tough times in the crease, and it's resulted in a couple tough seasons for them. You know, now they have a goalie they believe in, and he's played well. And you know, I think there's just a whole different feel about Ferris State and where their program's at right now. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great weekend.